found a brand name wallet in the garbage dump, opened only to find a wad of bills left inside. He quietly put it in his pocket, and then called his good friend to leave with him. They found an empty corner to sit down. Raphael counted the amount of the money, handed it to his friend $200, and then continued to turn through his wallet. An ID card named Hexy, an expired animal lottery ticket, and a key were all in the wallet. But it was these three items that unexpectedly made him a well-known multimillionaire. Gatto, who did not know the truth, accosted the police. After learning that they were looking for a wallet and an extra 1,000 yuan, he looked at Raphael. See him did not have any response. Gatto did not expose the wallet they picked up. Just as the police were bored and ready to leave, the cook. In the evening, Gatto offered to hand in his wallet to collect a reward of 1,000 yuan, but Raphael did not agree. There were only a few hundred yuan in the wallet. However, the police offered 1,000 yuan. Obviously they wanted something else. Since the police can bid 1,000 yuan today, they jumped out of the dirty pool and walked all the way to the sewer at the end, and inside the sewer was the residence of a thin boy. Because he was smelly every day and had a sick skin disease, no one would come and search him. However, today's opening requires a reward of 500 yuan. Apparent. Raphael couldn't accept his lion's big opening. He picked up his wallet and was about to leave when the dependency stopped him. Some things are small orange. In this way, the three people took the train to the city. For fear of being discovered by the police, they chose a more secluded At a vent, they saw the locker corresponding to the key, but how to avoid the police became a problem. In the end, Gatto volunteered. He rushed out of the iron net and found a passerby to grab his bag. Sure enough, the police not far away heard the sound of coming. They took the opportunity to open the iron net and ran to the locker at the first time. They opened the locker with a key. Unfortunately, there was only a letter in the locker. They had no time to check the contents above. Gatto couldn't wait to get the letter, only to find that it was just a letter from Hexy to the prisoners, and they didn't know that this letter was about to change their fate. In order to find out why the police took a fancy to the letter, they sneaked into the church and searched the name on the letter with the priest's computer. They found that the prisoner was a lawyer, who specialized in litigation for the poor, and was an activist against corruption. Unfortunately, when Gatto reacted, it was too late. He hurriedly found the priest for help. The two rushed to the police station non-stop. The priest took out photos of important people, but the police ignored him. The angry priest was lying on the iron gate shouting the name of Raphael to me. Dad, it. The two men sat helplessly in front of the police station, but what they didn't know was that Raphael was indeed not here. Fred took him to a deserted street, then asked his men to put sacks on him, and threw him into the back seat. They stepped on the accelerator and swung the brakes on the empty. Raphael's body was thrown over and over again, and bounced back over and over again. When the police car stopped, he was already bleeding from the head. That's when Fred was slow to ask about the wallet. Who got your favorite? He said, by what rules? Hearing this question, he chose silence again. This time they locked Raphael in the trunk, and began an hour-long torture. By the time the officer opened the trunk again, he was weak and dying. Fred slowly approached him and said that the owner of the wallet, Hexy, had been tortured to death by them. If Raphael did not tell the truth, he was, but he knew very well that as long as he told the whereabouts of his wallet, both of his partners would be implicated. At this point, Fred was no longer patient, and immediately let his men take care of him and drove away from here. The police officer raised his pistol, but the next second it hid. In this way, Raphael was lucky to get his life back. The next day he was found by scavengers on the side of the road. They carried him to the church without stopping. The priest stitched up his wound and hinted that if they found the wallet, they would hand it over as soon as possible. But they paid more for the secret behind the wallet, and even almost lost their lives. How could they give up halfway? After the priest left, several people fell into confusion. Their current clue was only the life of a prisoner. It seemed that it was time to seek the help of foreign aid. He needs a professional lawyer to sue the police, but the average lawyer is afraid to take this. It just so happens that Gatto has a lawyer grandfather, but now he's in jail. The assistant was very puzzled. Why did you find him to help? Gatto answered him helplessly.
An American. You, white.
Two, white. Two.
That's how the assistant agreed. The next day he followed Gatto to the prison. Despite the blessing of white identity, they gave the guards $500 to enter smoothly. But fortunately, he also met the prisoner as he wished. At first, the other party did not trust him, and thought he was here to profit. It wasn't until Gatto said Hex's name that the old man became serious.
Are you talking about Raphael?
No.
C'est my nephew.
Really blame you.
No.
Goodbye. Then Gatto read the contents of the letter to him word for word, and the assistant next to him realized that the old man in front of him was not an ordinary person, but a famous anti-corruption leader a few years ago, and he was caught up in a whirlpool against the corrupt and powerful. After hearing the letter, the old man was very excited, and asked the prison guard to help him bring his Bible. However, The prison guard refused to visit the prison for too long and said that he could let them pick it up the next day. He handed it to him personally. The old man had no choice.
Page, chapter, and verse. It's simple. You understand easily.
São duas Bíblias idênticas que usamos para mandar mensagens. Use a minha para encontrar o que o Zé Ângelo me deixou.
Você tem que achar. Ajuda a gente.
At the same time, the two Raphael on the other side were equally rewarding, and he was taking Shu to the city center. It turned out that during the torture last night, he accidentally heard the name of the deputy mayor. Obviously, this incident has nothing to do with him. So the two men touched into the deputy mayor's house, trying to find some clues, only to find that they had just turned into the yard, and were found by the housekeeper. But the other party saw that they were poorly dressed, and instantly felt pity. Not only did they not report them, they kindly. During the chat, they learned that Hexy was once the confidant of the deputy mayor, but he stole tens of millions of cash and bribery books from the deputy mayor 2 days ago. Afterwards, he put it in the refrigerator and let the porter tow it away the next day, thus staging a perfect theft. However, before leaving at home, the prison guard offered to exchange 1,000 yuan, which made all the people in trouble. They all looked at the assistant, but the assistant could not get so much money. He offered to record their stories first and then find a way. At this time, the people did. Before long, Raphael suddenly heard the sound of sirens outside, and the three hurriedly fled, but unfortunately the assistant was captured. The police even burned the entire dump before leaving, and scavengers, homeless, poured into the church. In a hurry, the dependency touched the priest's roof. The next day, Gatto met with the prison guard, but as soon as he got the Bible and was ready to leave, the prison guard got up and caught him. The plainclothes not far away were no longer hiding. Gatto took out a hook and scratched the prison guard. He immediately used the steep terrain of Th. In this way, the three men played the police around, and the police were so angry that they shot at them, only to be abused by Raphael. Afterwards, they fled to a rotten tail house, and Gatto went out to look for food. They were left to decipher the code and check the number of pages and lines in. Gatto came to the next block and searched for food from the garbage dump. The girl on the side saw that he was handsome and took the initiative to talk to him. Just as they were chatting, police cars suddenly rushed in and Gatto quickly started to run. Obviously, their whereabouts have been X'd. Finally, a moment before the police arrived, they informed their companions that they were running like monkeys on the roof, and this was their poor talent. But there were too many policemen around. Seeing that they had no way to escape, the girl found them just now. He took the three to Finn. The police shot the key and escaped unharmed. Then Fred arrived, too, and saw the number on the wall to understand the secret place, which was a string of telephone numbers. Raphael had already called out at this time. The other end of the phone was a cemetery. It turned out that Hexy had hidden everything in the tomb. They came to the cemetery on the 17th according to the guidance of the Bible. Then a little girl suddenly appeared, and he was the daughter of. While they were chatting, Fred also rushed over. He grabbed the other two and came to Raphael, threatening him to tell which tomb it was in. Despite his reluctance, he had to tell the truth. Then Fred ordered them to smash the wall and dig the grave, and soon the coffin was dragged out. He happily called the deputy mayor, and said that he had found the account book, but tens of millions of banknotes were missing. While he was still secretly pleased. Without finding out, the girl had quietly touched his back, and the girl picked up the stone, and hit him on the head. Right. His companion asked him to shoot, and his hands began to tremble constantly. Although he was so angry that he gnashed his teeth, he still failed to give up his heart in the end. He gave the opponent a hard punch, then left the cemetery with the money. They throw the money bag into the garb. Raphael took 3 bags of money to the top of the mountain, and walked down the mountain with millions of bills. When the poor saw this, they immediately put down their work, and scrambled to pick up the money. At this time, the dependency also quietly came to the priest's room, gave back 10 tim. The priest and his assistant decided to post the misdeeds online. Soon the major media began to rush to report, and countless citizens were worried about the safety of Raphael and others, but they did not realize that they had already come to the seaside with their last bag of money and began AFR.